good morning, and welcome. My name is Jonathan Bloom of Bloom Consulting. Today I'd like to go ahead and talk about data governance. So, through Bloom Consulting, I do project work for clients and those interested to solve problems. I'm currently focused on data governance, and in the past, I've worked in a variety of technologies, including Visual Basic, Oracle, Crystal Reports when I started in '96, and worked my way through ASP, Classic, .NET, Java, project management, team lead, and a variety of other roles. But today we're going to talk about data governance. So I like to start off with a story where I worked at a company and they had all this data flying around, and it would move from here to there and a variety of places. You had people that knew specific pieces of the puzzle, often known as data silos, except one guy who, if you didn't know he was there, you wouldn't know he was there. And the thing about this guy was he would ingest all that data into Access database. Now, some would say that Access database is not the proper software tool to manage a business, but that was the case because he knew where all the data lived, he knew the business rules, he knew the owners, he knew why the data was important, how it integrated with other data. And this one guy that sat in the corner that nobody knew was there was basically running the data infrastructure. Now, that's good for job security for that guy, because when we had those weekly RIFs, those RIFs, everyone got let go, but that guy stood remaining. The only downside, if he got hit by a bus or something, then there was no person to understand the entire data estate. And therein lies the problem. Data governance was incorporated to solve that problem by documenting your data estate so that people know where it lives, they know what the data stands for, they know how it flows through the system. There's a governing system that governs the governance so that rules can be applied to align with the mission statement such that no single person supports the entire knowledge of information. So there you go. And also, data governance has been around for a little bit with master data management and such, but now it's become a no longer a nice to have, it's a must have. And we are treating data as an asset. It's no longer like the last part of a project. It's designed so that if you do have an understanding of your data, you can use that to increase sales, lower costs, and streamline your processes. So you can answer the question, where's my data? Is the data accurate? Who owns it? Is it compliant? Who's accessing the sensitive data? How it flows through the data ecosystem? And do I have a definition of the attributes within the data ecosystem? And where's my data dictionary? Also, we no longer have to purchase expensive software that gets installed on people's laptops. We can use a cloud-based solution from Microsoft called Purview, and it handles all the background updates and installations. There's nothing to install. There's no maintenance or patches. It's all transparent behind the scenes by the nice folks at Microsoft. So, what does Microsoft do that is so terrific? Well, it's cloud-based. It solves a lot of the data governance concerns that we just mentioned. It'll help you get a handle on cost because you pay as you go for storage, and when jobs are running, they split it out so that you can reduce cost by storage is inexpensive, where the processing power, it spins up and down. You're only charged for what you use. Who's going to use this product? Well, any company that uses data or relies on data to support their business needs. They can use this Purview unified metadata governance solution. It's easy to use, simple design. You can get up to speed in no time. So like we said, it lives in the Microsoft Azure stack. You can stand it up with a few clicks, or you can use automated ARM templates, bicep templates, or Terraform templates within DevOps. There's about 100 plus out-of-the-box connectors. You can connect to your on-prem database using a self-hosted integration runtime to connect to, let's say, an on-prem SQL or Oracle database. So you register your asset, you set your shire, and then the scan gets created and run. It goes out and pulls out that metadata and dumps it into the unified metadata platform in Purview. And now you have data about data, your metadata. So people can use that to manage the business. Like I said, it runs as a PaaS, platform as a service. And Microsoft is constantly adding new features. They're investing heavily in this product. There's a flavor and fabric, and there's also a standalone product called Compliance, which is a separate entity in itself. So I want to give an example. So let's say I had a cat, and then, uh, you know, we decided to get 100 more cats. So now we have 100 cats living in our house. And because we're good parents, we know their names and all the characteristics and features of those 100 cats. But then let's say we plan a trip to Ireland and somebody's going to stay at our house and take care of our 100 cats. Well, it'd be tough to write a list for them to understand the names and attributes of all those cats. So what we could do is apply a data governance to those cats and say, well, I'd like to set up a scan and scan all my cats, and then we're going to come back and document. So we can easily identify perhaps a picture and a description of the cats, and that would be our data dictionary, our data catalog. And then we could classify those cats. So as we're performing our searches of each one, we could look for characteristics and say, oh, this cat has 3 paws instead of 4. This one's missing an ear. This one doesn't have a tail. This one's allergic to milk. This one has a special diet. This one, if you put your hand out, you're going to have to visit the emergency room because he's going to claw you. And then we could classify those cats and store it all in that central repository called Purview, the unified cloud-based data governance tool. And then let's say that these cats, they move around during the day, like timeshare space. So we could track their lineage and say, oh, Frosty over here started off in the kitchen and then worked his way into the lanai and then hung out in the washer dryer room and then topped it off with a resting in bed. So we could track the lineage of those cats to see how they progress through the life cycle, right? And then we could have the glossary and say, oh, this is our cat Curly. He's got no hair. And then Curly likes to eat mice. And we could store those in our glossary. So we have an encyclopedia definition of each cat. And if I wanted to do a search, I could search for Curly, and Curly would show up, and I'd have a complete description of who he is and what is, has he been to college? Does he have a driver's license? Important facts that you need to know. So while somebody's sitting at our house watching our cats while we're in Ireland, they'll be able to take care of the cats. So we discussed the data catalog, the online data dictionary. We tracked the data lineage, the movement of those cats through the life cycle. We talked about the glossary where Curly, doesn't get many haircuts. And we talked about the classification, such as, some of the cats are allergic to milk and some will tear your arm to shreds with their claws. And then they also have policies, which if I was a self-service Power BI guy or a girl or whatever, so I could do a search for, let's say, the product table, and then the product table shows up, and then I say, oh, I'd like to request access to that. So I can initiate a request of workflow self-service. For our system admins or our security admins, we have the data estate dashboards that can get a pulse in real time of data estate, how the curation is looking, what percentage, where the gaps are, what's lacking, what assets are heavily used, which is the sensitive data we need to lock down. Now, when we talk about data governance, there's a lot of facets to it. One of them is called data quality. So data quality is not included in Purviews, and that requires custom coding or third-party vendor software. So you can work with a third-party software company to try to integrate your Purview with theirs to handle the data quality. So what does that mean? Well, let's say that there's duplicate records. I pulled data from Great Plains, I pull it from Salesforce, I pull it from the accounting system and the products. And let's say there's overlap and there's 6 different versions of the same data. Well, I can collapse that into a master data record and a golden record so that everyone's using the same thing. It's also got data quality rules. If I enter my date of birth as 1859, well, either that person's doing real good health wise, or it's a typo. So I can look for data quality rules and fix those. Also, like St. Petersburg can be spelled like 28 different ways, and there's a tool to go up and grab the correct spelling from a list of data and such. So there's a lot of features within the data quality that's not out of the box from the Purview. So you have to account for that, and you need to have your expectations up front. I've seen a lot of pre-sales people go out there and sell Purview as a complete data quality, and then the client's like, "Well, where's the data quality component?" I said, "Oh, we have to write that or buy something." So when we talk about custom coding, we can do that in stuff like Databricks notebooks and such, and write custom code to check the field length. Is this field null? Is this date formatted properly? The other thing it doesn't handle is complete data lineage. Although it does capture a lot, it doesn't handle functions or logic apps or Databricks and stuff. So we have to write Python code to access the atlas to handle that. So for me, I partner with clients on data governance, specifically Purview and Microsoft Unified Data Metadata Platform. I do assessments, proof of concepts, strategy, delivery. I can lead projects and deliver projects and document and train. Typically, create an architectural diagram of the before and after, best practices, security, and the rollout strategy. And I can help pretty much any organization of any size based on my project experience. So Bloom Consulting has been around 20 years. I've been coding professionally since 96, and I started with a PC in 83. So if I did math, that's probably a lot of years. And then also, we can help you get to the next level of the data maturity curve. Instead of reporting on the past, we'll report on the present and the future so that you can make predictions and use your data as an asset to grow the business. And also, we can train and have webinar sessions to record documentation so we can teach you how to fish. So at the end of the day, what do I do? Bloom Consulting. We deliver solutions in the data governance space in Microsoft Purview. We can do an assessment of your current data ecosystem, create the project plan, the diagrams, build a custom solution or lead your team and create the project plan, the estimate, resources, timelines, and such, and document and train the staff. And my history has been success after success on delivering these projects, and making sure the client's happy for large clients, billion-dollar clients, as well as medium-sized and small, so that you can treat your data as an asset to become data-driven, help drive sales, reduce cost, streamline processes, and align with the ever-changing policies such as GDPR, California, and Canadian laws. So thank you very much for your time today. We appreciate it. As always, be on the lookout for more videos in the future. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye.